So, if you know me, you know that I have always loved making film. And also, if you've been keeping up with this channel, you'll also know that I am horrendously terrible at making content. But there's a reason for that, alright? Let me just talk to you about my life as a transgender woman working in film. So currently, my 9-to-5 day job is as a videographer, which is awesome because I'm in an institute that really respects the work that I do and also respects my identity as a transgender woman, and has given me the space to talk about that and make content about that for the institute and be authentically me. I mean, it's not the film industry per se, but I'm making content online constantly. You just don't see it on this channel. But you know, the stuff that I make is actually pretty cool. I'm making videos all the time for a living. It's my job, which is really cool to say. But of course, that also means it's a lot of creative labor that goes into my brain. And when I get home at the end of the day, the last thing I feel like doing is putting up another camera and filming another video. You know, it's work. I love it. I really enjoy doing this. I'm filming here today and I'm like, oh my god, I love doing this. I love filming. I love vlogging. I love making content and making creative weird shit that's just awesome and fun and goofy. But yeah, I can't do it all the time. Anyway, that's work, that's boring, that's everyday stuff. That's not what we're here to talk about today. We are here. I want to tell you guys about the creative leaps and bounds that I have made as a transgender woman working in film in New Zealand. So I'm going to start off telling you a bit about my film career. I first picked up a camera in 2011, 11 years ago, and I loved it. I fell in love with making videos, making content, and I just wanted to tell stories. I was so into writing, and I used to tell weird little short stories about my friends and that kind of stuff. Really bizarre, surreal stuff. And it was such a joy for me. I loved storytelling, and then when I discovered working with video and film, it was such an incredible way for me to tell stories that are weird and wacky and stupid and fun, but that are also enables me to be creative, enables me to think about music and the way the shot's set up and acting. I was really into my drama in high school, so I really loved being in front of the camera as well as behind it. I used to enter what we have in New Zealand called the 48-hour film festival every year. It was making a film, a 5-minute short film in 48 hours. Start to finish, you write it, you film it, you edit it, you put it all together and you get it into them. It was dumb and fun and stressful, but really rewarding. And at the end, I'd have a video that's hey, this is a film that I made. And what I'm stoked about is the last time I entered it in 2020 was during the first lockdown, you know, back when all of that was happening. Framing Love, which is on my YouTube channel. You can go check it out. And that was big for me because it was the first time that I had an entirely transgender cast. And I was pushing that, and I was this is really cool. It's me and my twin brother Raggy. It was us making a film. It was an entirely trans film, and there was 2 of us. It was great. But that was all stuff that I was just doing off my own back, you know? It was all free, or I paid to do it in the case of the 48-hour film festival. Paid to enter. But it was never proper film stuff. Until 2020, I had been working with my manager at my job for a while, and she was pushing me to write a script for a short film that we could submit to places, and she'd produce it. So I wrote a script. It was a story about a transgender person, because I'm obviously hey, we don't have enough trans content out in the world, so let's make some. And it had psychological thriller elements to it, because I really loved the idea of playing with genre, putting twists on it, making it my own and making it trans. And that story we submitted to something called the Pan Asian Screen Collective, which is a group in New Zealand, that caters specifically to Asian New Zealanders. Because I'm half Chinese. Hey! So we submitted to that for a development program. We didn't get it, unfortunately, but this is really cool. They were like, your script needs a bit of work, so we can't give you the full workshop, but we really like your idea. So here's kind of a second prize, like a half day with a mentor. So I met this mentor, and then she really loved the script and loved the idea and was really invested in LGBT and trans content being out in New Zealand, and it's something exciting and cool. So she put so much more effort into working with me to tell this story, which is just meant the world to me. We worked together and I rewrote the script and got it to a point where it was quite a different film, but fundamentally the same sort of ideas were there. And then we submitted it to the New Zealand Film Commission, which is like big in New Zealand, obviously. And we entered it into this thing called Fresh Shorts, which is for new and like emerging filmmakers and directors and stuff like that to submit their work and put forward a proposal for a short film with scripts, with concepts, ideas, vision boards, like the works. And then we got through the first round of that with this story, and I was like, what? And then we have to submit it a couple of times. There's one application where they wheedle it down to like top 18 people. Out of 96 applicants, we were in the top 18. And then we have to do a whole nother application where it goes down to the top 6, and the 6 teams in that get funding. And it was $15,000. I'm like, we can do it. However, after the first round of applications, I had quite an unusual experience, something that doesn't happen like this. The script got reviewed by external readers, like people who would look over it and say to the film commission, here's my notes, here's what I think about this. A little bit of just kind of like minor script consulting work. However, turns out that the writer and director of this brilliant New Zealand TV series called Rūrangi were actually my readers for my short film. And now this was quite cool because they actually reached out to me and was like, hey, love your script, love your work. This is really unorthodox, but do you want to work with us on Rūrangi? And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. So before I'd even gotten funding for Fresh Shorts, I'd been asked to come onto this project for Rūrangi. And at the time, Rūrangi, this was early 2021, Rūrangi was releasing as a feature film. They'd done the festival circuit with it being a web series, and now they were releasing it as a feature, which I highly, highly, highly recommend checking out. I'm just going to go on a wee tangent about Rūrangi for a bit. Rūrangi is a story about a transgender man coming home to rural small town New Zealand to come out to his family and friends and sort of re-establish his life there 10 years after running away to Auckland to transition. So it's very much a coming out story, it's a drama, it is told so beautifully well, and I can honestly say this, I have never seen such wonderful, authentic transgender representation on screen. If you've seen Disclosure on Netflix, you should also check that out. This is me just getting into my old film recommending stuff. You should watch Disclosure because it outlines like the past 100 years of transgender representation in film and television. And up until like 2013 with Orange is the New Black, I would consider that the representation has been appalling, to say the least. But it is so much better now, and Rūrangi is just riding that train. It is just phenomenal, it is beautiful, it makes me cry. It relates so deeply to my experience as a transgender person, that the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my god, I've never seen this. I've never seen myself represented in this way. Like, even with the trans masc experience, which obviously is a little different from the trans femme, it still cuts to the core of the transgender narrative and story, while being respectful and open and loving with its characters. And just watch it. Absolutely watch it. Anyway, back to my film. So, I got Fresh Shorts funding, which was $15,000 to make this film, and that was like, what? Amazing. So, we started doing workshops and that kind of thing. Went up to Auckland for a little bit. Unfortunately, COVID kind of got in the way of things. And yeah, I refined the script, I wrote it, rewrote it, and now I'm working on all the directing stuff. And I've realised filming takes a long time. We haven't made the film yet. We got the funding at the very start of last year, so 2021, but you know, we'll get there. Extraordinary times with filming with COVID and that kind of thing, especially in New Zealand. Like, you know, we're only just getting hit with Omicron now. Woo! So hopefully things will work out. Also, so that's my short film, that's what's happening with me there. But then also I've been asked to mentor teams. I've, like, for other projects and that kind of stuff. I've come on with trans consulting jobs for other, like, feature films and short films, that kind of thing. And I've been brought onto Rūrangi initially to help with the social media so I could get to know the team. That was at the start of 2021. And now in 2022, I was up in Auckland for a few weeks as a director intern for Rūrangi, working alongside the directors to upskill myself and get better at my craft, which was so freaking exciting. And unfortunately, COVID got in the way of that and the shoot's been pushed back, but it feels like my career in film is taking off. It feels like people are looking at me as an emerging, like, new transgender filmmaker in New Zealand, which is honestly wild. Like, people have so much faith and like hope in me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, sweet, yeah, fine, all right. And in fact, like, I was recently nominated. I'm a finalist in the WIFT Awards, which is what WIFT NZ, Women in Film and Television in New Zealand. I'm a finalist in their awards for Outstanding Newcomer. And I had no idea this was happening. I just got a phone call one day being like, hi, yeah, you're a finalist for WIFT, for Outstanding Newcomer. We're going to pay for you to come to Auckland, and here's your flights and that sort of stuff. And here's the dates, that sort of thing. Again, postponed by COVID. But yeah, we'd love to see you there. And I'm like, what? What? Here I am, just some trans girl making content on the internet for so long. And now here I am actually, like, being recognised and starting to get to know people in the New Zealand film industry, which is wild. I never thought I would get to this point in my life so quickly and being embraced so much by the community, by the film community. And I have hope that I can make a difference with telling trans stories, with creating authentic, relatable, brilliant, beautiful trans content. It's kind of become my, like, film career, like through line is make trans content that is different, that is accessible, that is fun, that is exciting and strange and beautiful. And I'm at a place in my life where I now potentially have the opportunity to do that. And that's amazing. I'm so grateful for the opportunities that I'm getting. I'm so grateful for the experiences I've had, for the people that I've met, for those people who've supported me, for all you who've supported me over the years. Like, I feel like I'm headed somewhere. And with film. And I'd never felt that before. Yeah, so anyway, that's me. Sorry for just telling you all of that in like so long, just excited like that. Yeah. I can't wait to see where my life goes. Yeah. Anyway, that's me. Keep on being awesome. Keep on being you. Thanks for listening. See ya.